It's a gorgeous Friday night for SEC softball, and we welcome you to Oxford, Mississippi, where Ole Miss, who's picked up some momentum after their first SEC series. The 0-2 is bounced to the right side and past Pickens. Don't see her make too many mistakes at second.
You don't. I think right there, if she had just stepped forward a little bit more, got herself and her body a little bit more in front of the ball there, I think she honestly would have had a solid play at first.
Here's the 1-1, and it's flown out to the gap left center. Malvin on the run, can't get there, the center fielder. It's Applin, the left fielder, who makes the long throw all the way to third base, and Powell retreats back to second. Then in a doubleheader, they split last Friday. That gets by Bunker, and now the runners move up.
First, I mean, then you have a force out at any plate or any bag.
Full count pitch, misses. Bases are loaded. That one was cool.
Kind of finding the strike zone and really nailing that hard.
And walks her with bases loaded. 1-0 Texas A&M with nobody out and bases stable. The 3-1 is hit on the ground left side past a diving Star. And another run comes in for A&M. They lead Ole Miss 2-0. Still nobody out and bases stay loaded.
Is a little off, and you've kind of seen like a shift in the defense. You've got players playing up in back positions.
And Mathis works a 4-pitch walk. Another run comes in. 3-0 Texas A&M. Eighth best shortstop entering this season. And a dangerous hitter at the plate with bases loaded and nobody out, but she pops up. See if it stays fair. Looks like foul grounds. Ryan Starr makes the catch. And if you're Lily Witten, you're just trying to coach forward. 2-2. Hit in the air to deep center, and Malvin makes the catch. It's plenty deep enough, though, to score Ward from third. 4-0 Texas A&M. Second appearance this year. This is hit in the air, right center field. Malvin's on the run and can't get there. This will clear the bases. Krausel's all the way to third for the bases clearing triple. Two more for the Aggies. This is bounced up the middle, and there's Cassie Reisner, who throws out Powell as the Aggies score 6 runs in the top half of the first. 3-2, swing and a miss. Lessenteen's 80th.
I mean, she does a great job of staying off of the plate low, and it kind of even backdoors in there just a little bit, which you're going to find is one of her best pitches.
SEC. Pickens ropes it into right center, down for a base hit and all the way to the wall. Pickens hustles into second with a standing double. Ole Miss needed that.
I think that's exactly how you want to answer back. You also want to show this Aggies softball team that, you know, Ole Miss is here to compete. They're here to hit the ball. They're here to get on base. And they're here to do the same thing, I think, that, you know, you watch the Aggies do at the top of one here for them.
Here's Lessenteen's 1-2. Chopped on the ground to second base. Played perfectly by Edwards. 2 away. And then allowed a 2 RBI triple. And George on a rope into center and played by Mathis, who makes the catch, and Ole Miss strands Pickens on third. It's still a 6-0 Texas A&M lead through the, like we mentioned, Georgia. A 4-pitch walk. (3-2) and Perez is going to say that was ball 4. She turned around to look at Scott Merritt, though. Aggies sit 5th in the SEC standings. This is flown in the air, down the right field line. It's got a chance, and it's gone. The Aggies are pouring it on in the series opener in Oxford. Michaela Warks, 17th homer, and it's 9-0.
I mean, that's tough right there. I think she lets that ball travel about as much as she needs to and then takes it to the opposite side of the fence. I mean, there's no better hitting than that right there. I mean, with 16, now 17 home runs on the season.
Genius. This is flown out to left. Applin near the line, drifts into foul grounds and makes the catch. In the nation. Rips it back up the middle, base hit. And Dement bloops it right to Cassie Riesner, who makes the over-the-shoulder catch. Throw to first base in time to double them up. Nothing to A&M as Cassie Riesner does this herself. A beautiful snag and a dart to Percy Yamas at first base to double up. The team is already in run rule territory in SEC play. On a line to the left for Riesner, and it's down for a base hit. Cassie Riesner's now 7-4 by Cassie Riesner. And Roman takes low. Kowalewski keeps it in front, but it's low. And Riesner moves up to second base. Swings and misses for strike three. Her 15th strikeout in conference play, that's second most in the SEC.
I mean, the hard part here, too, is that you haven't seen her enough to really be able to pick up on anything that could keep you from laying off of some of those pitches, you know, being able, relying on whether or not you can keep your arm further in front of you versus behind.
Between the legs of Dement. And ricochets in the left, halfway down the line. Applin brings in a run. Riesner scores from second base, and Ole Miss is on the board in the bottom half of the second. They'll give Applin the hit. And that's tough for any shortstop. It was scorched right to her.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hard read right there, especially, with nobody out at that point, or one out, you've got a runner.
Lessentine delivers. Inside jam job, right side. Edwards slips to first for the second out. That does move up Applin from second base. Guards on. 2-1 is flown into left and over the head of Allen, all the way to the wall. Malvin on her horse to second base, takes the turn. And Ole Miss celebrating down 7. Slowly but surely chipping away as Allen just had a bad read and left.
Those are those times where your read on the ball and where your defense is currently having you play at.
Like we said, and like Carly said, Bunker and Malvin trying to build off each other here. Flown out to deep left center all the way into the alley is Mathis, the center fielder, who makes the catch. 2 runs come in for Ole Miss. Just returned back up the middle, off the glove of Witten, and Riesner couldn't reel it in. Safe at first base is Paisley Allen.
You watch girls that are 4 or 5 years older than you, potentially even larger than that.
Riesner to second and gets the force out. The shortstop for Ole Miss has played 3 walks, too. And Powell laces it left side, base hit. And Ryan Starr, who just re-entered after she was pitched hit for by Rachel Connors, just short of that diving catch.
And I think that's kind of, it's throughout. It's not just one pitcher. It's not singular here. I think it's a plural issue that you're watching these pitchers get too deep into counts, wasting more pitches than they need to.
It's into shallow center.
No.
Her 3rd walk today. 20 walks for Perez. Swing and a miss to keep it at a 7-run deficit. Lily Witten escapes the jam. Lessentine's 1-0 pitch as Pickens skies it out to deep center. Mathis is back at the track. She makes the catch. Mackenzie Pickens goes 219 feet. Yamas does spoils pitches, waits for the pitcher to make a mistake. Hits it in the air, down the right field line, ranging over Rajal, and makes the catch. All right, like we said.
You can't just have one, though.
That's true. That's why I had to limit myself and put it back pregame, because I knew.
You were thinking about the fans.
George skies it. High and deep to left center. It's gone. 12th on the season for Maddie George.
Talk about getting a piece of that ball. I mean, she absolutely, and she takes that opposite side of the field too. Both home runs we've seen today have been in the opposite opposite direction, but she takes that well over the American flag there.
Three one is ripped into left center, all the way to the wall for Reesner. She's thinking 2, but retreats back to first base. How about Cassie Reesner? Trailing 9-0 in the top half of the second. Off the end of the bat, Dement fields the slow roller and gets Texas A&M out of this inning. Maddie, 3-run homer after back-to-back walks in the second. Ole Miss is trying to fight back, and a scorcher right to Ryan Starr, who makes the catch in the hot corner.
I mean, again, with her stellar defense, I think that Ryan Starr has been such a solid player for Ole Miss.
And then Ole Miss got the solo homer in the third, down 6. And she walks Mathis. Keep in mind that all but one better to round out the series. Fly ball at the center field, and Malvin makes the easy catch. And Dement's now 0 for 3 today in that first game.
Gosh.
She said, sorry, I'm tired. I'm a little, my filter's off. Slow bouncer to Starr, guns it over the first base to retire Paisley Allen. And Ole Miss keeps the deficit at 6. Not play last weekend, got Easter weekend off. Leilana Applin hits his high, deep left center. It's off the scoreboard and gone. Her first homer in SEC play. Homer tonight.
What a nice way to start this inning, too. With no outs, go ahead and just hit a home run, put one more on the board.
Ole Miss has scored. Called strike 3, low and away. Lessentine gets her 3rd strikeout today, and first looking. I mean, paints the corner. I know they say swinging it. This is looped into left and drops in front of Allen. Malvin goes right back to Allen, who
catcher, like, what is she doing? What's she doing? I think, you know.
And then she finds the right side gap for a base hit. Taylor Malvin hustling to third to throw from right. The tag wasn't applied. Bunker moves up to second base. Look at it again. The throw was well in time. And she pops it up. First base side, and it's caught by Perez, the first baseman. And Sydney Peters does what she does best.
Playing out in right field, you know, they're playing positions they've never played before because they want to be out on the field.
Cassie Reesner can't get the read on the bouncer. Goes into left center, and Frazel's all the way into second base with now a double and a triple. 1-2, chop to first. Percy Yamas steps on the bag. Frazel moves up to third. It happens. Happens to the best of us. 1-1. Hit in the air, left center. Frazel's going to tag. Malvin makes the catch. Let's see if it's deep enough. And it is. Texas A&M brings in another. Coming in the last 2 years. And she rips this into right. It's got a chance. It's off the top of the wall. And the longest single she could ever have in her career. Just how close was this? Wow.
She barely misses that.
4-pitch walk. Payoff pitch. Inning continues. Bases are loaded for Texas A&M. And Jamie tracks. Got her swinging, strike 3. One across for Texas A&M, and then Texas A&M back up 6. Fooled her on the off speed as Ole Miss will grab the bats when we come back in Oxford on this Friday night. Ouch. And she hits another. This is also scraping the sky. It's out of here.
Shot.
13 homers in her fresh 2026.
I mean, she stays all the way back and literally lets the trigger go with her hips. I mean, that hits the trees. How far was that?
Texas A&M, most production she's had 2 in a year this season. Roped into center, but right at Mathis. Makes the catch. Way to go. We're in the bottom half of the 5th. Roman works the walk. There's one away. Peters back inside the circle, faces Leilana Applin, who homered her last time up. Bloops it down the right field line. Fragile coming on to make the catch. And there's out number 2. Swing and a miss. Got her to chase sign away on 3 pitches. 10-6, Texas A&M hanging on. We head to the 6th. Is energized, and they're giving you momentum.
I think it's crucial. I mean, you still give your team an opportunity to score more runs.
That hits KK Dement when she was out of the box. Out number 1. Just one of those series of unfortunate events for her.
It would have been a fantastic bunt had she not gotten in the the line of play.
Out in the 4th. Chops at the 3rd. Grace Thompson. High throw. Sometimes the ball always finds you when it's your first time out there. 1. That was a 3-run home run by Michaela Ward. Flares it left field, and Texas A&M goes in order after Applin makes the catch. For the first time tonight, the Aggies. Alabama. Into left center. And Taylor Malvin has a leadoff single in this 6th inning. 2 saves last weekend against Georgia and 1 against LSU. 1-2 just puts the bat on the ball. They go to second for 1, first for 2, in time! Edwards, Dement, and Perez twist it for. This is exactly how you draw it up. If you're the infield for the Aggies. Pickens, fly ball out to right center, and it's Mathis who takes care of it for out number 3. Rebels get the leadoff hitter aboard, but a critical 4-6-3. And Lily Witten hits her. That was close to the bottom. All right, we'll let it be. Here's Edwards, runners on the move. Throw down is not in time. Zooming in on that. Oh, Cassie Reisner.
It looked like the ball had a good read on that. I think she's out.
Yeah, the tag is applied right there, it seems. Powell's only been caught stealing twice this.
Call on the field has changed. The runner is out.
There you go. Kennedy Bunker throws out Kennedy Powell. That's definitely ball 4. And how crucial is that career? 2-2 is popped up. And a massive second out for Ole Miss. Reisner makes the squeeze. This is flown out to shallow right. Coming on is George, but out is Pickens, and the sophomore makes the catch. Got a little dicey in shallow right. Ole Miss's most consistent hitter, Percy Yamas, who's 0 for 2 today with a hit by pitch. Bounces it to 3rd. Well played by Powell. Long throw. Gets her in time. Came in via the walk when bases were loaded. George chases the high heat. 2 away for Peters in this 7th.
I think they're having a tougher time adjusting to her strike zone.
1-2, hung on by Kowalewski behind home plate. Back-to-back strikeouts ends this game for Peters and Texas A&M. The Aggies scored 9 in the first 2 innings.